were born for more than this. I got tired of shrinking small, tired of breaking for their rules. I looked at me and finally knew I was the fire, not the fuel.
Imagine growing up in a world that doesn't celebrate you for the attributes you naturally carried, but instead dehumanize them because of what they represent in society. As messed up as that sounds, this is the reality of many of us in the Black community, especially young, dark skinned Black girls. However, the system of oppression we endured from slavery wasn't just any system that is built. There are layers within it that are implanted to reinforce the will of one another interpersonally. While colorism focuses on the color of a young Black girl's skin and texturism focuses on the texture of their hair, it leaves me to ask one question. What role does their features play when it comes to the potential mistreatment they will and are facing in society? Unlike colorism and texturism, featurism has all three issues that I spoke on with those two problems I mentioned earlier combined, which makes the life experience of a Black dark skinned girl who's a physical embodiment of Afrocentric features fully harder than another dark skinned Black young girl who only experienced colorism, texturism, or both. They are not only just getting discriminated against for the color of their skin and or the texture of their hair. Their features play a major role in how they are perceived and treated as well, which determines the lack or gain privilege they have just to be accepted in today's society. Featurism isn't just an issue that exists in an era where the Black community didn't have any autonomy when it came to how they are perceived physically based on their appearance in the past. It showed up in many ways that have a lasting impact on us, especially young dark skinned Black girls in their lives. Featurism isn't just a physical issue, it's an emotional and a psychological one as well. Much like colorism and texturism, which featurism stems from, it appears in the home of young, dark skinned Black girls, within the educational system, and throughout society as a whole. In the home of a young, dark skinned Black girl with Afrocentric features, she might experience firsthand the anti Blackness we were conditioned to both uphold and believe in. European beauty standards are one of many conditions imposed on us. It is one of the reasons why so many of us internalize self hatred, develop dysfunctional family dynamics, and feel pressured to alter our appearance. Besides the influence of mainstream media, beliefs rooted in colorism, texturism, and featurism often begins at home. Our family members, specifically our parents or caregivers, are often the first to influence our self perception and understanding of beauty. We are taught that physical features such as nose shape, skin tone, and hair texture are often worthy of praise when they are a reflection of Eurocentric beauty standards. Small noses, thin lips, straight hair, and proximity to whiteness are presented as the ideal, something many of us within the Black community are taught to thrive for. Dark skinned Black girls with Afrocentric features are oftentimes compared to their siblings or other family members who are viewed as closer to those Eurocentric beauty standards. When colorism, texturism are combined with this experience, they are oftentimes expected to mature faster while being given less grace, softness, and protection than siblings and other family members who fit the standard of beauty, which in turn causes them to internalize the treatment they receive and view themselves as unattractive, masculine, or unworthy of protection. This issue alone is one of the reasons why so many young, dark skinned black girls grow up developing a deep sense of self hatred to the point where they begin desiring to change their physical appearances in hopes of receiving even a fraction of love and acceptance they believe is given more freely to those within their community who fit the standard of beauty, even if that belief is not entirely true. They tend to face both direct and indirect criticism from those around them, furthering increasing the desire to alter their appearance, a feeling many young, dark skinned black girls experience on a subconscious level, to the point of being verbally and mentally abused by their families and community. They often heard remarks and terms as young, dark skinned black girls like, "You too dark, you have a wide nose, you got nappy hair, your lips are too big, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl, you need a perm or relaxer," and so much more. It reinforced the belief that they are unlovable, unacceptable, and incapable of being viewed as beautiful because of their natural features and attributes. Not only did many of us experience criticism because of our hair texture, but our parents or caregivers were often pressured into using chemical processes to alter our hair in order to conform to society beauty standards and its perceived privileges. This is the same issue I discussed in my second YouTube video, the deeper rooted truth about young dark skinned black girls' hair. Featurism doesn't only affect young dark skinned black girls in their homes. This systemic issue also extends into the educational system. Much like colorism and texturism, it reflects the same conditioning and bias I talk about in my YouTube videos, the deep truth about young dark skinned black girls' hair and what dark skinned black girls really experience in life, what needs to be talked about. They are more likely to be targeted by their educationers because of their Afrocentric features, because those who are lighter skinned or fit Eurocentric beauty standards more closely. But why? I know that's a question you are asking when it comes to this issue. How exactly do colorism, texturism, and featurism thrive within the educational system in today's society? Based on the studies I researched and mentioned in the two videos above, the educational system creates a hostile environment fueled by disciplinary biases and a lack of economic support for younger, dark skinned black girls. They are more likely to be disciplined by educationers than their lighter skinned black and white peers for the same behaviors. and sometimes for even less. Part of the reason this happens is because dark skinned black girls are often perceived as older, more aggressive, more docile, and less innocent than they truly are. Dark skinned black girls often receive less economic support in school because they are unfairly perceived as less intelligent and less capable due to their appearance by their educators. However, the mistreatment young dark skinned black girls endure from adults within this system isn't the only form of mistreatment they face. They are often targeted by their peers as well, especially once their peers recognize the lack of protection they receive from the adults responsible for their care. It gives them the freedom to discriminate against and harass them as well. This can reinforce through the school's social hierarchy, which often mirrors the social biases we are conditioned to believe as children. They are often called names, teased, and compared to their peers by both their non black and black peers who conform more closely to the Eurocentric beauty standards. If dark skinned black girls have appearances that mimic Eurocentric beauty standards, they are often subjugated to backhanded compliments disguised as praise. Terms like, "you're pretty for a dark skinned girl," "you have good hair," and so much more that reinforce those harmful beliefs. Some young dark skinned black girls have felt pressured to shrink, alter, or suppress parts of themselves in order to be treated with kindness, protection, or accepted by their peers in school because their individuality is taken from them and replaced with stereotypes that portray them as a monolith instead. The monolith placed on dark skinned black girls are often portrays them as rough, mean, or ghetto, while assuming they all share the same interests, behaviors, personal traits, and forms of expression, when in reality, they are individuals with their own identities, personalities, and experiences. This isn't only harmful to their well being, also to their willingness to defend themselves and their characters because they know that any emotions they express can be used against them due to the harmful stereotypes, such as the angry black woman stereotype. Although mainstream media plays a major role in how dark skinned black girls are treated in society, I wanted to focus primarily on the environments where many of those harmful beliefs are first introduced and reinforced during childhood. Many dark skinned black girls begin to understand at a young age that their peers, who more closely mimic Eurocentric beauty standards, are often associated with positive traits, while they are associated with negative ones because of their Afrocentric features. They become aware of where they are placed within the beauty hierarchy even during childhood. This can lead to low self esteem and the desire to alter their appearances. They also begin to lose the sense of innocence children are supposed to have because they are often adultified at a young age. They still struggle to find representation in the media, advertisement, children entertainment, and toys. Even though representation has improved, many young dark skinned black girls still struggle to find characters and TV shows, movies, media, and toys that accurately represents Afrocentric features and appearances. Outside of their interpersonal environments, they also face colorism, texturism, and featurism within other institutional spaces, such as the medical settings. Their pain Within the medical system, their pain and discomfort are often minimized or ignored because of the stereotypes that portray them as being stronger than they actually are. A harmful belief rooted in reinforced by the trauma Black people endured during slavery. Meanwhile, extracurricular activities such as dance and gymnastics, dark skinned Black girls with more Afrocentric features are often denied center stage roles because of the strict expectations rooted in Eurocentric standards regarding their appearances, styling, and aesthetics within that particular activity. Which leads me to my next point of this discussion. Within this journal, I discuss the shadow of each issue young dark skinned Black girls face. Colorism, texturism, and featurism in my Glow Princess, a shadow and self-love journal for dark skinned Black girls. It is a tool created to help them explore the emotional and psychological effects those experiences cause them. Not just to help them accept themselves physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. An identity that was once stripped away from them can now be reclaimed without the toxicity that was their image. Thank you for sticking with me as I complete this series. I hope I not only entertain you, but also provide a perspective impactful enough to help us pour back into our children, especially our young, dark skinned Black girls. Until next time, make sure you comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Nova Queen Speak. See you soon.
Nova Queen, I became Nova Queen. Stop saying sorry for my dreams. I take my space, I make my space. I wear my worth like diamond rings. I became Nova Queen, I became Nova Queen, I became Nova Queen.